Welcome to this transformative self-coaching program designed to help you integrate and heal the pattern and beliefs of intense fear of guilt and shame. This is an emotional EMDR mini course whose goal is to guide you through a process of understanding, reframing, and building resilience to this pattern and beliefs. It is recommended that you use this program in full screen mode, while sitting still and upright. Follow the movements of the ball or pattern on the screen with your eyes. As the words from the audio are spoken, notice the feelings they evoke in your body and any mental images that may arise. If your mind starts to wander, gently redirect your focus back to the moving ball or pattern. Optionally, or if you are not able to use video, you can also tap on one or more EFT points. How it works. In step 1, we evoke the distressful emotional state of the belief or pattern. Note: this can be emotionally triggering. Take full responsibility for your well-being. In step 2, we offer ourselves loving, compassionate self-acceptance for this state and beliefs. We then reframe the belief, pattern or state with new positive suggestions to the mind. We then bridge the mind into the new, more positive reality. We finally express gratitude for the new positive reality, taking it as fact. Ready. Section 1. Unpacking emotional experiences. We begin with a setup of the issue. Even though I struggle with this pattern, I choose to still deeply love, honor and accept myself, and I am open to a more empowering state of being. Take a deep breath. I feel an overwhelming fear of being judged and shamed for my actions and decisions. I often think I am not good enough and that I will inevitably fail, disappointing those I care about. I carry this deep-seated belief that I am inherently flawed and unworthy of love or acceptance. I experience intense anxiety at the thought of making mistakes, as it might bring guilt and shame upon me. I constantly worry about being a disappointment to my mother, feeling like I can never meet her expectations. I feel trapped in a cycle of guilt, believing I'm always doing something wrong. I dread social situations for fear of being criticized or rejected, stemming from my mother's disapproval. I am haunted by memories of my mother's harsh judgments, which make me doubt my self-worth. I feel a heavy burden of guilt, as if I'm carrying the weight of my mother's unfulfilled dreams and expectations. I often feel powerless and inadequate, as if I can't do anything right in my mother's eyes. I am constantly anxious about expressing my true feelings, fearing they might trigger guilt or shame. I feel a deep sense of unworthiness, believing I don't deserve happiness or success. I have this recurring thought that I am a constant disappointment to my family, especially my mother. I often feel like an imposter, undeserving of my achievements, fearing they'll be stripped away if I'm exposed. I live with a persistent fear of being abandoned or rejected, deeply rooted in my mother's critical behavior. Section 2. Feel into this balanced, compassionate perspective from your inner coach. Maintain your attention on the EMDR screen, following the movements of the shape or pattern with your eyes. I warmly welcome my overwhelming fear of judgment and shame, understanding it as a part of my journey towards self-acceptance. I gently accept my feelings of inadequacy and fear of failure, recognizing them as signs of my deep desire to do well. I compassionately embrace my belief of being flawed and unworthy, seeing it as a call to discover my true worth. I lovingly acknowledge my anxiety about making mistakes, understanding it as a natural part of my learning process. I hold space for my worry about disappointing my mother, seeing it as a reflection of my deep longing for her approval. I kindly recognize my cycle of guilt, understanding it as a sign of my sensitivity and empathy. I embrace my dread of social criticism and rejection, acknowledging it as a part of my path to self-confidence. I compassionately acknowledge the haunting memories of my mother's judgments, understanding them as influences on my self-perception. I warmly accept the burden of guilt I carry, seeing it as a testament to my depth of feeling and responsibility. I gently hold my feelings of powerlessness and inadequacy, recognizing them as areas for my personal growth. I lovingly acknowledge my anxiety about expressing my feelings, seeing it as a step towards finding my authentic voice. I embrace my sense of unworthiness with understanding, knowing it's a part of my journey towards self-love. I compassionately observe my thoughts of being a disappointment, understanding them as calls for self-compassion. I kindly accept my feelings of being an imposter, recognizing them as an opportunity to embrace my true self. I warmly welcome my fear of abandonment and rejection, seeing it as a pathway to developing stronger self-reliance. Section 3. Visualizing positive change. Take a deep breath. I am choosing now to embrace my experiences with judgment and shame as opportunities for cultivating self-compassion and resilience. I am open to the idea of seeing my feelings of inadequacy as stepping stones to build confidence and self-worth. I am ready to let go of the belief of being unworthy and embrace the journey of discovering my inherent value. I can start to view my anxiety about making mistakes as a catalyst for growth and learning. I am willing to explore the possibility of finding peace in the knowledge that I am doing my best, regardless of my mother's expectations. I am open-minded about transforming my cycle of guilt into a deeper understanding and kindness towards myself. I am choosing to focus on building my self-confidence to overcome my dread of criticism and rejection. I am ready to let go of the haunting memories of my mother's judgments, choosing to define my self-worth independently. I am choosing to release the burden of guilt and embrace the freedom of living true to myself. I am open to the possibility of empowering myself, moving beyond feelings of powerlessness and inadequacy. I am willing to explore expressing my true feelings, seeing it as a way to honor my authenticity. I am ready to embrace my sense of unworthiness as a call to unconditional self-love and acceptance. I am choosing to focus on the potential for growth, transforming the thought of being a disappointment into motivation for self-improvement. I am opening myself up to the recognition of my achievements as genuine, overcoming the fear of being an imposter. I am prepared to cultivate self-reliance and strength, transforming my fear of abandonment into a journey of self-discovery. Section 4. Bridging the two worlds from emotion to aspiration. Remember to maintain your focus on the EMDR screen, following the movements of the shape or pattern with your eyes. Even though I feel an overwhelming fear of being judged and shamed, I warmly welcome these feelings, understanding them as a part of my journey towards self-acceptance. I am choosing now to embrace these experiences as opportunities for cultivating self-compassion and resilience. Although I often think I am not good enough and fear failure, I gently accept these feelings, recognizing them as signs of my desire to do well. I am open to the idea of seeing these feelings as stepping stones to build confidence and self-worth. While I carry a deep-seated belief of being inherently flawed and unworthy, I compassionately embrace this belief, seeing it as a call to discover my true worth. I am ready to let go of this belief and embrace the journey of discovering my inherent value. Despite my intense anxiety at the thought of making mistakes, I lovingly acknowledge this anxiety as a natural part of my learning process. I can start to view this anxiety as a catalyst for growth and learning. Even though I constantly worry about being a disappointment to my mother, I hold space for this worry, seeing it as a reflection of my longing for her approval. I am willing to explore the possibility of finding peace in the knowledge that I am doing my best, regardless of her expectations. Although I feel trapped in a cycle of guilt, I kindly recognize this cycle, understanding it as a sign of my sensitivity and empathy. I am open-minded about transforming this cycle into a deeper understanding and kindness towards myself. Even though I dread social situations for fear of criticism or rejection, I embrace this dread, acknowledging it as a part of my path to self-confidence. I am choosing to focus on building my self-confidence to overcome this dread. While I am haunted by memories of my mother's harsh judgments, I compassionately acknowledge these memories, understanding them as influences on my self-perception. I am ready to let go of these memories, choosing to define my self-worth independently. Despite feeling a heavy burden of guilt from carrying my mother's unfulfilled dreams, I warmly accept this burden, seeing it as a testament to my depth of feeling. I am choosing to release this burden and embrace the freedom of living true to myself. Although I often feel powerless and inadequate, I gently hold these feelings, recognizing them as areas for my personal growth. I am open to the possibility of empowering myself, moving beyond these feelings. While I am constantly anxious about expressing my true feelings, I lovingly acknowledge this anxiety, seeing it as a step towards finding my authentic voice. I am willing to explore expressing my true feelings, honoring my authenticity. Even though I feel a deep sense of unworthiness, I embrace this sense with understanding, knowing it's a part of my journey towards self-love. I am ready to embrace this sense as a call to unconditional self-love and acceptance. Although I have recurring thoughts of being a constant disappointment, especially to my mother, I compassionately observe these thoughts, understanding them as calls for self-compassion. I am choosing to focus on the potential for growth, transforming these thoughts into motivation for self-improvement. Even though I often feel like an imposter, I kindly accept these feelings, recognizing them as an opportunity to embrace my true self. I am opening myself up to the recognition of my achievements as genuine, overcoming the fear of being an imposter. Despite living with a persistent fear of abandonment or rejection, I warmly welcome this fear, seeing it as a pathway to developing stronger self-reliance. I am prepared to cultivate self-reliance and strength, transforming this fear into a journey of self-discovery. If you were tapping, you can stop as we go into gratitude. Section 5. Preemptive gratitude for transformation. I am grateful for the strength and resilience I have discovered within myself, overcoming my fears and embracing self-compassion. I am thankful for the journey that has led me to recognize my true worth and to build confidence in my abilities. I express deep gratitude for the lessons in self-acceptance and the discovery of my inherent value. I am appreciative of the challenges that have taught me growth and learning, transforming my anxiety into wisdom. I am thankful for finding peace and self-assurance, releasing the need for my mother's approval and embracing my own path. I express gratitude for the sensitivity and empathy within me, which have guided me towards understanding and kindness. I am grateful for the courage I've developed in facing social situations, building my self-confidence and overcoming my fears. I am thankful for the ability to define my self-worth independently, releasing the haunting memories of past judgments. I express deep gratitude for the freedom to live true to myself, unburdened by guilt and expectations of others. I am appreciative of the empowerment and strength I've found, moving beyond feelings of powerlessness and inadequacy. I am grateful for the courage to express my true feelings, honoring my authenticity and finding my voice. I express thanks for the journey towards unconditional self-love and acceptance, embracing my worthiness. I am thankful for transforming my fears of disappointment into motivation for self-improvement and growth. I am grateful for recognizing my achievements as genuine, overcoming imposter syndrome, and embracing my true self. I express gratitude for the journey towards self-reliance and strength, transforming my fears into opportunities for self-discovery. Section 6. Closing and next steps. Take a deep, rejuvenating breath. Congratulations on completing this transformative session. Take a note of how you feel in comparison to how you started, and consider journaling your notes about this session and any areas you'd like to explore. Be attentive to the potential reduction in the emotional weight of certain memories and actual circumstance shifts in your daily life. Note that it may take one, several or many uses of this program to completely clear or reframe this pattern and beliefs. This program and affirmations serve to fortify your inner journey toward a more empowered state. Feel free to revisit them whenever you need to. For more details, see the link in the bio or description below.